remaining and most important part of this unit is approaches. But before approaches, we'll see some we'll go through some terms. That is consistency, consistent unit system. That is important part in a finite element analysis. If we consider the that we call careless use of the unit in the engineering calculation lead to numerous error in the problems. Such error can be minimized by using the consistent set of unit system when we solving the any problem. Mostly in for example, we'll see the ANSYS software, ANSYS mechanical, and that there is no flexibility to change the unit, or the software doesn't told that your unit is wrong, or we don't change the unit system also. If we put any system, for example length, it is in a suppose we put it is in a meter, then we apply the same consistency to apply all the boundary condition and all the forces on the system. If suppose we apply one force is in kilonewton and another one force we apply is in newton, so that software doesn't told you your unit is wrong. It will get, you will get the result, but it will totally wrong. So that you maintain the consistency unit system if you solve the FEA problem. Essential and natural boundary condition. I think we in our previous videos we are discussed with a boundary condition, and that there are two types of boundary condition. That is essential boundary condition that we called as a geometrical boundary condition, and natural boundary condition that we also called as a force boundary condition. If we solve any simple structural problem, we require these two types of boundary condition, essential as well as natural. If out of this one is missing, then your problem will not solve and will not get any result. Natural boundary conditions, this is a force boundary condition. The constraint placed on boundaries with respect to the magnitude of the force and the or the moment. If we apply any moment or we apply any force, that is with some magnitude. So these are all there are different types of loading condition are available in any commercial software. Likewise, essential boundary conditions, that is also called as geometrical boundary condition or restraint that we called. This boundary condition place the constraint on the magnitude of the displacement and the slope at any given position on the boundaries. So we require these two types of boundary condition if we solve any problem. Another one is symmetric boundary condition. That is also important. It is not necessary you apply every time the symmetric boundary condition on the structure. It is depend on your geometry. If your geometry is symmetric, then we go for symmetric boundary condition, or your boundary conditions are symmetric, like for example shell or the pressure vessel. Pressure vessel is having internal, we apply the internal pressure, so it is normal or it is equal in all the internal part of the shell. So that type of condition is under the symmetric boundary conditions. We apply the symmetric boundary condition and solve it. Another example, suppose we have a rectangular plate and we push that plate in a two direction. Okay, so that is also the categorized in a symmetric boundary condition. We divide that plate in a four part, then we apply this symmetry to the geometry, and then we apply that the forces on a single part out of this four part. We take that single part and apply the boundary condition. So that is all cases categorized under symmetrical boundary conditions. Next is the introduction to the different approaches used in a finite element analysis. That is the important part in a finite element analysis. If we solve any problem, we decide the depth of the problem and we select the proper approach to solve that problem. So we list here the types of approaches. One is a direct approach. Second one is a variational formulation or the principle of minimum potential energy approach, Galerkin weight residual approach, and Israelites Reed's method we call as a approach. So out of these four, we go in a detail Galerkin weight residual approach and the realized approach because it is important at the exam point of view. Galerkin weight residual method. The method of weighted residual is an approximate technique for solving the boundary value problem. The analysis is based upon the assumption an approximate solution for the different equation, and the assumption is made is approximate, the differential equation will not be satisfied and there will be the error in the solution. So that we eliminate this error, the error in the solution is known as a residual and is obtained to and it optimized to obtain the best possible solution for the differential equation. The differential equation the difference between the numerical value of actual and approximate solution is called a residual, which lead to error. Let us consider the differential equation. It is a d2y d square y plus y. So we consider this equation. Let y is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2 x2. When we substitute the y in a different equation, so certain residual exist, that is d2y plus y is equal to r is a residual. There is a method of minimizing this residual function is a Galerkin method, or we call it as Galerkin approach. Galerkin method, it is a method of weighting residual and the used to find the approximate solution of the different differential equation. How we solve the problem by using this equation, or how we implement Galerkin method for particular problem. First step, formulate the differential equation of the equilibrium. Then after that, assume the trial function while satisfy the boundary conditions. Step 3, substitute the displacement function into the differential equation of the equilibrium. If the function assumed is exact, then the equilibrium equation is satisfied. If not, then the difference due to the approximate function is denoted as r, it's called as a residual, where r is a residual, right? Step number 4, determine the constant function used in by Galerkin function, where f1 and f2 are the function of displacement model. See the equation 0 to L, that is we define the boundary conditions. Function f1 in a bracket x r dx is equal to 0. Another function is f2 with a limit 0 to L, r dx is equal to 0. Step number 5, knowing the constant of the displacement function, determine the unknown value. This is all about the Galerkin weighted residual approach. Another one is a realized approach. The structure consists of the different members such as a link, trusses, or the frame. which can be represented by the finite element or finite number of degree of freedom, whereas an elastic solid has infinite number of degree of freedom, where this degree of freedom shows the different displacement of the every point in the solid body. Such an elastic is mathematically represented in the terms of the partial differential equation. There is very few chance that the stress field or the displacement field can be solved the differential equation and satisfy the boundary condition. This difficult of solving the differential equation can be eliminated by using realized techniques. Realized techniques convert the problem with a finite number of degree of freedom and represented by the algebraic equation rather than differential equation. So that conversion of the differential algebraic equation to the differential equation, we solve any problem with a number of differential equation, with a number of algebraic equations. For an element, for an elastic solid body, that total potential energy pi will be used to find out the trial solution. Rayleigh technique is composed of assuming and displacement field by U is equal to summation of bi alpha I, the bracket x y z is a coordinate system, I is equal to 1 to p, where v is equal to summation of b j alpha j, x y z is a coordinate system, where j is equal to p plus 1 to q, w is equal to summation of bk ak in the bracket x y z, k is equal to q plus 1 to r, p is less than q less than r, where ei are assumed as a polynomials. U, V, W are the displacement that satisfy the single value nature of displacement and the specified boundary conditions. And the potential energy for the elastic body can be given as pi is equal to pi in a bracket b1 plus b2 up to bn. There is a number of independent unknown in the system. Now the pi to be minimum as a set of equation, as n set of equation is obtained as d pi by db I is equal to 0, where I is equal to 1 2 up to n. Thank you. This is all about the important approaches used in finite element analysis.